this is our final session. It's an opportunity to say thank you to you, the teachers that took part, the grandparents that told their story. And I hope that you enjoyed, and maybe we could virtually, I hope that we'll continue this process next year. And this session, we're going to talk about our Jewish identity and what does it mean for each of us to be Jewish, to be a part of the Jewish story all around the world. And we're going to start with a short video by a really, really special rabbi. It's Rabbi Jonathan Zacks. May he rest in peace. And let's see his video and what he has to say. Why am I Jewish?
The deepest question any of us can ask is, who am I? To answer it, we have to go deeper than where do I live or what do I do? The most fateful moment in my life came when I asked myself that question and knew the answer had to be, I am a Jew. This is why. I'm a Jew not because I believe that Judaism contains all there is of the human story. I admire other traditions and their contributions to the world. Nor am I a Jew because of anti-Semitism or anti-Zionism. What happens to me does not define who I am. Ours is a people of faith, not fate. Nor is it because I think that Jews are better than others, more intelligent, creative, generous, or successful. It's not Jews who are different, but Judaism. It's not so much what we are, but what we're called on to be. I'm a Jew because, being a child of my people, I have heard the call to add my chapter to its unfinished story. I'm a stage on its journey, a connecting link between the generations. The dreams and hopes of my ancestors live on in me, and I am the guardian of their trust, now and for the future. I'm a Jew because our ancestors were the first to see that the world is driven by a moral purpose, that reality isn't a ceaseless war of the elements to be worshipped as gods, nor history a battle in which might is right and power is to be appeased. The Judaic tradition shaped the moral civilization of the West, teaching for the first time that human life is sacred, that the individual may never be sacrificed for the mass, and that rich and poor, great and small, are all equal before God. I'm a Jew because I am the moral heir of those who stood at the foot of Mount Sinai and pledged themselves to live by these truths for all time. I'm the descendant of countless generations of ancestors who, though sorely tested and bitterly tried, remained faithful to that covenant when they might so easily have defected. I'm a Jew because of Shabbat, the world's greatest religious institution, a time in which there's no manipulation of nature or our fellow human beings, in which we come together in freedom and equality to create every week an anticipation of the Messianic age. I'm a Jew because our nation, though at times it suffered the deepest poverty, never gave up on its commitment to helping the poor or rescuing Jews from other lands or fighting for justice for the oppressed, and did so without self-congratulation, because it was a mitzvah, because a Jew could do no less. I'm a Jew because I cherish the Torah, knowing that God is to be found not just in natural forces, but in moral meanings, in words, texts, teachings, and commands, and because Jews, though they lacked all else, never ceased to value education as a sacred task, endowing the individual with dignity and depth. I'm a Jew because of our people's passionate faith in freedom, holding that each of us is a moral agent and that in this lies our unique dignity as human beings. And because Judaism never left its ideals at the level of lofty aspirations, but instead translated them into deeds which we call mitzvot, and a way which we call the halakha, and thus brought heaven down to earth. I am proud, simply, to be a Jew. I'm proud to be part of a people who, though scarred and traumatized, never lost their humor or their faith, their ability to laugh at present troubles and still believe in ultimate redemption, who saw human history as a journey and never stopped traveling and searching. I'm proud to be part of an age in which my people, ravaged by the worst crime ever to be committed against a people, responded by reviving a land, recovering their sovereignty, rescuing threatened Jews throughout the world, rebuilding Jerusalem, and proving themselves courageous in the pursuit of peace, no less than in defending themselves in war. I'm proud that our ancestors refused to be satisfied with premature consolations, and in answer to the question, has the Messiah come? Always answered, not yet. I'm proud to belong to the people Israel, whose name means one who wrestles with God and with man and prevails. For though we have loved humanity, we have never stopped wrestling with it, challenging the idols of every age. And though we have loved God with an everlasting love, we've never stopped wrestling with him, nor he with us. I admire other civilizations and traditions, and believe each has brought something special into the world. Aval zeh shalanu. But this is ours. This is my people, my heritage, my faith. In our uniqueness lies our universality. Through being what we alone are, we give to humanity what only we can give. This then is our story, our gift to the next generation. I received it from my parents and they from theirs, across great expanses of space and time. There's nothing quite like it. It changed and still challenges the moral imagination of humankind. I want to say to Jews around the world, take it, cherish it, learn to understand and to love it. Carry it, and it will carry you. And may you, in turn, pass it on to future generations. For you are a member of an eternal people, a letter in their scroll. Let their eternity live on in you.
This is the slideshow that we've completed. And as we can see, there are a few photos here that represent being Jewish or being Israeli. You choose, and each one of you had to choose which photo is the most significant and relevant to him or to her. So we're gonna talk about it in the room, and you can share to each other what you've done during this process. If it is Google Map or נתקעתי, אני מצטערת, אני מתרגשת כי זה גם המפגש האחרון שלנו. אז בינתיים אני אסביר את זה בעברית לצד הישראלי שלנו. מה שנעשה בחלק הבא זה בעצם אנחנו נתחלק לחדרים, וזאת תהיה ההזדמנות שלנו להראות את המצגת שעבדתם עליה. כל אחד היה צריך לבחור תמונה אחת שמסמלת עבורו מה זה אומר להיות יהודי.
Daniel, is that here, Mark? No? It says Mark over here.
ובעצם אנחנו נוכל בחדרים גם לשתף כל אחד את מה שהוא בחר, את התמונה שהוא בחר, וגם להראות, כי לא הייתה לנו הזדמנות בפעם הקודמת, מה עשיתם במהלך השנה. בעצם בתיעוד את הכלים שבהם תיעדתם את הסיפור של סבא או סבתא.
Okay, I guess I'll go first.
You know what you're supposed to do?
Sorry. It's too late.
Huh? Yes,
I am. Oh. Hi, let me get my slideshow here. Are you connected to audio? So this is my.
This is my family map. So this one,
Someone else can go.
I see where I live.
What?
Uh,
So this is my slide. No, it's not
Here's a
because.
couple pictures.
Then I'll let my mommy explain her face.
Here's Indianapolis. This is where my dad was born in May. It's also where my grandfather was born in May.
Yeah, I chose an astronaut because I like space and stuff. And then
Chicago. This is where my grandmother's born, also where my mom's born.
I'm also up there.
This is Milwaukee. Here's some pictures. This is where my grandfather was born in 1941. This is Madison, New Jersey. This is where my grandmother was born.
Yeah.
There's no pictures. This is Minsk, Belarus. This is where my grandfather's mom was born.
Okay.
And last one
It's
is Australia.
yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
not very big. There's not many pictures.
So I chose
So Eli, you wanna share next?
Elon because I like
Family back.
sorry, I chose the astronaut because I like space and stuff. And then her grandma was her name was Anne Frank. And she helped with raising our children.
דודי, קצת לא שומעים טוב, מה הם... אולי תגיד להם משהו? היי, הדר ושוש.
שלום.
היי, שלום. Dudi?
So we saw Gabriel's presentation. We saw the item that Asher showed us. So thank you for sharing. Adal.
הדר, אנחנו מראים עכשיו, ולא היית קודם, ראינו סרטון של מה זה להיות יהודי, של סרטון יפה, אבל תוכל אחרי זה לראות אותו, ובעצם כל אחד עכשיו מסביר את הבחירה שלו במצגת, או חפץ שעבר במשפחה. אז ראינו עכשיו שני סרטונים של חפצים חשובים שילדים מארצות הברית יראו.
Yes, the plan of Sabra, because all the native Israelis are like Sabras. They are sweet inside and a little bit oktzim. How would you say?
אני מנסה להיזכר, וואי, ברכה לי המילה.
גם לי.
דוקרים, punch.
דוקרים.
Like punching it outside.
Yes.
Right? What is the word in English that is inside it's soft and outside it can be a little bit rusty and punchy?
Prickly.
Like what?
Like a cactus.
Okay. Continue, את יכולה להמשיך, אנחנו מקשיבים.
I choose the flag, the Israeli flag, because it remembers me when I was a child in Argentina, and I learned in the Jewish school.
I left audio.
Then every holiday, we stand with the Israeli flag, and I feel so proud to be a Jew. And it's for me a big thing. And right now, I with tears in my eyes. I'm exciting, yes.
מקסים, זה אומר בעצם שאת נולדת וגדלת בארגנטינה?
אני נולדתי בארגנטינה, הגעתי לישראל בגיל 10, ועד אז למדתי בשני בתי ספר, הבית ספר הרגיל בבוקר ואחרי הצהריים בבית הספר היהודי.
How old were you when you came to Israel?
10 years, 10 years.
You were a child, 10 years
A
old?
child, 10 years old, yes.
That's amazing. יובל, את הבנת מה היא סיפרה? אבישג מכירה את הסיפור מסבתא שלה? היא אמרה שהיא עלתה לארץ מארגנטינה בגיל 10, והיא זוכרת שהם היו עומדים בבית ספר שם היהודי, וככה עם דגל ישראל, שרתם את התקווה או משהו? לא?
בוודאי, בוודאי. שרנו את התקווה, ובנוסף לזה, היה לנו כל יום שישי, גם כתבתי את זה, הייתה לנו קופה של הקרן הקיימת לישראל, וכל יום שישי היינו תורמים כסף לישראל בקופה, ועל הקופה גם היה מצויר את מפת ישראל ודגל ישראל. אז הדגל בשבילי הוא מאוד משמעותי, הוא מחזיר אותי אחורה לילדות בגדול, לילדות מיוחדת שלי בתור יהודייה בארגנטינה.
מרגש מאוד, מרגש. Noah, she was saying that as much as your family, your grandma told us that her family, your family was raising money to support Israel. Also, Avishag's family, grandmother also, she's telling us that also when she was living in Argentina, they were contributing money to Israel, to support Israel, and that's very exciting. Thank you. תודה, מרגש מאוד. נשארה לנו יובל. יובל, בואי נחפש את המצגת שלך. תראי, נראה אם פספסתי. יובל.
אוקיי.
מה באנגלית?
אני אגיד בעברית, ואחרי זה תתרגמו אותי. וכמו שזה לא היה יכול להגיע, אז... אני בחרתי בדגל ישראל, מסמל אותנו, את ישראל, את העם היהודי, וסבא שלי בחר בצה"ל, והוא אמר שבעצם צה"ל מאוד מאוד מסמל את היהודות, כי זה בעצם מה ששומר עלינו, מה ששומר גם על מדינת ישראל.
That's correct. Noah, can you read what you wrote here? Because she said it in Hebrew. Okay.
אני אומר...
כן.
אוקיי. את יכולה להקריא...
אני אעזור. תגידי, את יכולה להגיד בעברית? אני אתרגם את מה שאמרת. את לא חייבת לקרוא, אני אעזור לך.
אני בחרתי בתמונה של אנה פרנק, בגלל שהיא יהודייה וגם בגלל שהיא...
תתרגם?
Oh no, I cannot.
אני שומעת קצת רעשים ברקע, אבל Daniela chose Anne Frank because she thinks it's important because she was in the Holocaust, Jewish, and her figure represents Jews all over the world. I just came from another room, and one of your students in Indianapolis said that his great-grandmother's name was Anna Frank Brown, which is amazing. אז אני אומרת, אני אתרגם לחברים שלנו, הייתי בחדר אחר, ואחד מהתלמידים מאינדיאנפוליס, הוא צירף תמונה ואמר שלסבתא שלו, הסבתא רבתא שלו, זה בדיוק מתקשר, דניאלה, למצגת שלך.
Most of my maternal grandparents were born here. My grandparents on my here.
My maternal grandmother's mother was born here in Tzfat.
וואו, בצפת. הסבתא רבא, דודי, נכון? סבתא רבא נולדה בצפת, עיר הקודש, אדר, זוכר?
I forgot how to pronounce that. My paternal grandfather's mother was born in a village near here.
and Isham, my maternal grandmother's mother, was born here. And
גבריאל יסביר לנו מה רואים.
I'm showing, and it's like a remodel of my interview.
אז הוא מראה בעצם איזשהו סוג של רעיון באנימציה בינו לבין סבתא, נכון?
הוא מראה עכשיו איזה קטע מהרעיון שהוא תמלל ועשה באיזה תוכנת תלת מימד שהיא נחמדה, שמעניין. We have like 10 seconds, so thank you all for sharing, and we will sadly we'll miss what you made, Gabriel, but it's still cool. Thank you.
We get it to close spaces.
We're all back, right?
Okay, yes.
We didn't have time, as always. It's too short.
Yeah, because we've done a lot of work, so, and you guys done a lot of work, so it's difficult to share everything.
בינתיים שאתמול היינו במפגש מאוד כנס במוזיאון אנו, בקי ואני, וקיבלנו תעודת הוקרה על הפעילות שלנו, של הילדים ושל אחים הסבים גם, ועל הפרויקט המיוחד הזה שאנחנו שותפים אליו, וזה ייחודי מאוד בארץ, כי הרבה מהפרויקטים של הקשר הרב-דורי נשארים במסגרת הבית ספר והקהילה, ואנחנו פרצנו בעצם את הגבולות, ועל זה קיבלנו אתמול הוקרה, וזה היה מאוד יפה. אז לכבוד זה גם נעשה סרט שהילדים קצת שיתפו איך היה להם בפרויקט, וכן ערכה אותו בצורה מאוד יפה וכישרונית.
אוקיי, אז בואו.
רינה ובקי, מורות בבית ספר גוונים עין המפרץ, נרגשות לקחת חלק פעיל ולהוביל לתוכנית הקשר הרב-דורי, ביחד עם בית ספר הסטן באינדיאנפוליס, בארצות הברית, והמורה מייקל. זו הזדמנות לחיזוק הקשר בין הדורות ובין הקהילה היהודית בתפוצות, ואנחנו מאחלות לכולם המשך עשייה פוריה ומשמעותית.
אני עבדתי מהתוכנית על דברים על סבא רבא שלי שהציל יהודים בשואה.
מאוד נהניתי מהתוכנית, למדתי הרבה דברים על סבתא שלי והיה לי כיף להיות במוזיאון אנו.
אני מאוד נהניתי לעשות את הקשר הרב-דורי ואני למדתי הרבה דברים על סבא שלי וחיזקתי איתו את הקשר.
למדתי מהתוכנית מאיזה מדינות הגיעו השגרירים שלי.
I met new kids from abroad and I learned many things about my grandma.
I learned new things about my grandma and I strengthened the relationship with her.
I learned new things about my friend's family and we visited the Anu Museum. It was very interesting.
I enjoyed the project and my grandfather loved to be with me.
Shalom from Gwanim.
Welcome to the Hasten Hebrew Academy of Indianapolis. My name is Michael Vaskaboynik. I'm the Technology Coordinator and Teacher at HHI. Our students and I were so privileged to be a part of the Generation to Generation project for the second year in a row. This year, we wanted to introduce some new exciting tools such as Flipgrid for our communications with the Gwanim students and recording interviews with grandparents. Students from both schools conducted interviews and posted them on Flipgrid, and they were able to watch them and write their comments. There is even a built-in tool there to translate from English to Ivrit. For our joint meeting in March, we invited grandparents and other family members, shared some of those interviews, and reflected on students' and grandparents' experiences.
Watch out.
Students also demonstrated some other cool tools that we use in this project, such as Google Earth Family Tour, in which you can virtually travel to your ancestors' birthplaces, as well as the 360 degrees virtual reality digital storytelling program CoSpaces, in which students transformed their interviews. At the end of the meeting, we played a Mentimeter game. Students wrote in where they are from, and later we were able to see in one slide all different places of their roots. Recently, our students got engaged in other activities of this project. They posted videos of their family treasures.
Was my grandfather, Raul. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2002, but he lives on in these candles and these menorah in spirit.
During his interview, one of my students found out that his grandfather was involved in the deployment of the first computers in the Israeli army. So that student, along with several of his classmates, is building a virtual reality challenge to locate the grandfather in his computer lab. Another student's grandfather was a soccer coach in Belarus and Israel. So here is a soccer field in the virtual world, and you can really play a game here. Tomorrow we are meeting with the Gvanim students again for our final time. We would like to thank the Gvanim teachers, Hen and the rest of the Rav Dori staff, and we are looking forward to posting our stories on its website.
Shalom, Kesher Rav Dori.
Remember?
Wow, beautiful.
All right.
Well
Thank
done
you.
to you all.
I
And
should have
thank
left.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
hope we can
parents.
see you soon.
תודה רבה לכל המשתתפים, אני יודעת שזה לא פשוט, אני מאוד מעריכה את כל הילדים והסבים שלנו שעלו, זה לא בשעות בית ספר, זה לא ברור מאליו, וההתמודדות עם האנגלית לא פשוטה, וכל הכבוד, באמת, באמת אתם ראויים לכל הוקרה.
ותודה למורים של גוונים שהצטרפו לעזור לנו, מעיין ולדודי, תודה רבה, אתם מקסימים.
תודה רבה.